Hello, my lovelies. How are you? I have decided that I'm not going to work in this lovely journal anymore. It is already quite wide. There's a lot in it. So I thought I would do a little flip through with you to show you why, well, not so much why I've decided to call it, but yeah, why it is it. Now, this is a book by Meg Hutchinson called The Paupers Child. Now, I loved the photograph of the lady on the front, so I decided to keep that. And to cover up the library markings down here, I've put a piece of pretty blue paper which brings into that shade of her blue top, and the lovely cactus garden washi tape. Now, I didn't even cover the blurb on the back, I just covered up the library stuff. So, you know, that can sit in my bookshelf. It won't quite sit the way a normal book does, but never mind. Okay, so let's get into this. I've got one of my little, oh, it's not going to stay put. This book is so awkward. I'm just rearranging a couple of things here. Oh, I can't rearrange that too much. All my bits and pieces for collaging will fall off on the floor, and then I'll have to pick them all up. Anyway, as I was saying, a little stitched envelope with some mushrooms and other little bits of ephemera in. Now, the mushrooms can make up something like this. A plain piece of pretty paper with mushrooms to match the colour. One of my, I think that was a tea bag, a tea box part. And I've put a tag and a big ticket and another little postcard type thing in there. Let me just get that out. So it's a little bit of collage on that side to cover up the vintage work underneath. I just decided I'd like to put something else on top and then made a little postcard out of it. And that sits into that pocket, which is backed by book paper. Now, the envelope is functional. I've decorated that pretty page with the blues because blue and brown go together. But the envelope has just got a couple of sheets of vintage writing paper. Now, you can tell it's vintage. The colour is beautiful. It used to be white, but not anymore. It really is quite gorgeous. And I've got 3 sheets of that, and they're all identical. So they go in there. And I've put that flap over the page, and to hold it together, I've got a very pretty decorated office clip with a little piece of pink ribbon. Now, underneath the flap of the envelope, I've got another postcard. It's the common man's version of a TARDIS. Now, if you're Doctor Who, you know, or Whovian, a Doctor Who fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But collaged stripes of paper, postcard effect on the back with coffee-dyed paper, and that can sit in there quite nicely. Now, when I was going through this the other day, I had to put a piece of sellotape down here because the sticker was not connecting with the book page, believe it or not. I found that quite weird. Now, I taped or glued down the edge of this little flat piece, and in it I have put a ticket and 1, 2, 3 little flaps. They're just plain, but they sit inside as well. And I've put them in upside down purposely because that way the little pieces of paper won't get distorted and carried on. That's another piece that's not sticking. Is it sticking? Oh, yes. Okay. In this little fold-up flap I've got with, now I think this was Shakespeare page, I've got the washi tape stickers up there. This is so old, I had to reinforce it somehow so that it wouldn't crumble. Now in here I've got buttons sewn on, another ticket, a little folded piece of paper to journal on, and another bigger piece of paper to journal on, and a lovely Victorian lady with lots of stickers. And this is a little piece of vintage ephemera that came off the skein of some embroidery thread that I picked up second hand. Now, when was that? Probably in the 1980s, somewhere in that area. So it's old. But I decided when I found it that it should go into a book. Now in here I have got a large piece of paper. It goes down all the way to here. Then there's a smaller leaflet, a ticket to love, one way only. And another small booklet. I've stamped on these with a pretty stamp. It actually goes that way. And then put a little decoration in there. And another little ticket. That's just an admit one that's got lines on there that can be written on. A little bit of a little piece of lace and a little tab to fold over. This is glued on, so you can't use it for anything. It's not even a tuck spot. This opens out, so you can write on that. You can do some journaling on here. Lovely, beautiful big stamp. And a nice big piece of journaling. It is cards, so that was, I think, the inside of stamps or stickers or something like that. But I know it's the interior to something that I've just saved. Now, I left this open because I just like the black and white effect of that. Over here, we've got a pretty big pocket. We've got that and postcard on the back. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Oh, excuse me. And a large ticket and a Project Life card that's got lines on the back to write on. Okay, a little pocket using a doily, a little bird punch and another circular punch behind it. And inside the pocket is another ticket. I used all the tickets that I made up one day, and I've used them all into this journal because they just look nice. That is a bound, not a brown piece of paper. It is a piece of cardstock from Kaisercraft, and I've decorated it with doily and a collectibles piece of ephemera. And I had these stickers and I love them, so I put them in here too. And they just go so really well with that brown, orange, tan colour paper. It just looks pretty. Totally blank. Do what you like with that one when we come back to it, if we come back to it. And in the CD case pocket I made, I've got this lovely lady with a big butterfly. And also a nice postcard to write on with coffee dyed paper. Isn't that stunning? Now on this page, I've also used some cork pieces that I had in a packet for tabs. I thought they'd be great there. But little things that are ignored are the brightest courage in life. That's the prompt. You can do what you like with it. And the other half of the prompt I chose was, I'm only brave when I have to be. Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. Little envelope, another little piece of cork, and just a scrap of paper. Now, turning the page. Oh, I've got several pages in here. I wonder why I did that. It's a bit weird. just to prove, I guess, that they're not necessarily sealed, but you know, they're not adorned. So we'll pop this back anyway. Butterfingers time. Okay, in this pocket, or for this pocket, I've stitched lace on the top of it. I've also straight stitched the edge to give it some stability. And in it, I have a ticket and another piece of paper that I have stitched on. I've got the zigzag stitch on the lace and the zigzag on the edge of this one. And it is just a journaling spot or journaling card. And over on this one, I used a little die that came in a set of many to cut out this little Polaroid frame with the word happy, and I've just put a sticker in there to make it look nice. In the pocket, I've got a piece of lace, and now that's floppy and I like it that way. And I've put a couple of stickers in there from the Fairyland pack that I had. And then I've stitched a piece of paper across there just to give it some line and definition. And I've done a wavy stitch along the edges. And this is a little ticket. That's just a memory one. You can write on there, or it can be written on. Turning a page, I have a time card. I glued it all the way down. I decorated it with some pretty papers, a couple of pretty stickers, and this envelope that I have got some little cards in. One, two, and come on, 3. So there's 3 little pieces of paper that can be written on. You know, if you're into hidden journaling, these types of little envelopes and pockets are wonderful for that. You can hide your journaling away and nobody can instantly see it. They have to purposely go into these to see your journaling. Now, this was a piece of photo paper that had been stamped on, so I put it into here. I don't know where I got it from. I've got no idea, I'm sorry. Love irises. And here's some more blank pages. And I didn't stitch these onto the paper, I glued them on, but I did stitch the paper and cut it into 3 pieces with some lovely vintage type things from an old catalogue, I think. Old catalogue or an old book I had laying around. Honestly, cannot remember. Now, there are a couple of pockets here. We've got the back pocket, and we've got, which is in here, and I'll put some of these back in. There's lovely roses on a ticket, and more roses on a ticket. There's a beautiful butterfly. He can go in that one there. And then there's this pretty one that was just part of a pyramid that I hadn't used. So I cut out sections of it and put them on here. No, you're going behind the butterfly. Okay. More blank pages, but there's stitched paper on that one. Bright orange papers. My choice of papers for this book was really quite weird. Okay, I have another big envelope in here that I've just decorated with bits and pieces. And in this one, don't know why that was stuck. I've just got a big piece of paper that is folded for a lot of journaling, or some photographs if you wish. This being scrapbook paper, it could be used for photographs because they're not going to get hurt. Just pop that back in there if it's that's going to go easily for me. What on earth is going on here? Okay, I'll leave that out there for now. Another little pocket with it's a hot glue that has been stamped on with a button and then painted. I did not do that one. The lovely Maxine Liedl did that. And another just a little bit of something to go in there. And a lovely another ticket, and I think this one might be a memory one. Yep. Okay, I will try once more to get this in before I turn the page. I don't know why it was stopping. Oh, I see. It was getting stuck on the corner of one of these embellishment thingies. Okay. I'm happy now I've worked that out. Now, this was an advertisement for Kaisercraft, I think. It was on one of their things, and I thought, right, I'll stick it onto a piece of paper on the back, put a little piece of ribbon in, and it can be a journaling card with another one of those pieces of ephemera from that other magazine or whatever it was. Now, I've got sometimes the simple things are the best things in life. This one is watching the moon, gone fishing here, and we're moon watching again. Both peaceful things. Okay, 2 more little tickets. Vintage cycling on both of those. That one is a blank one, and that one is a ticket. Now, we could pretend this gentleman is William Shakespeare. Let's do that, because this is some of his paper here that I have not changed. I must have used it as a backing sheet at one stage, because I can't account for those colours anyway, any other way. Okay, another big envelope, or another big pocket. 2 journaling cards. 1 card, 1 paper. Lots of room inside and some room on the outside. As you can see, there are a lot of blank pages in this. I'm not at all worried putting away. Not at all. Okay, that's just a blank card with a Victorian lady on it. Come on. Thank you. And another little folded paper with nothing on the interior except a lovely lady. Now, this was the top of a piece of a paper pad. I cannot remember what it is. It is glossy, so that one would be good to stick photographs on, and the journaling about that could be written on that. Another one of those little Polaroid stickers with hello, and another one with time, and more washi tape. And here we have a very large bookmark, brown paper on the back. There's a little envelope here, or a little flap. And this gorgeous piece of paper I turned into a very big Matchbox book. Matchbox book. I think that's it. Yeah, I think so. A Matchbox book. It doesn't quite make sense. I don't know. I'll think about that one later. And a pretty lace tab goes on that one. More tags and tickets. Or a tag and tickets. Behind an ATC that I decorated. And I thought, yeah, it can go into a journal. It's pretty. Now, this little pocket is upside down, but these are thick enough they're not going to fall out. There's another ticket there. That one's a passenger ticket. And then there's this one as well. Just blank on that side. And another little piece of pretty pink to go to hold this little paper in. It's a card, okay. More pockets. Gosh, this is rich in pockets. It's a Project Life card. A little piece of paper to match that one that can be written in. Then we've got another ticket, which has got a vintage bicycle on it. And also another little tag with the bird on it and can be written on the back. Oh, there's a big pocket in here too. And I've got stuff in it. I had. How much more stuff have I got? None. That's okay. We just have one tag. But it has a little piece of lace here, lace curtain. Lots and lots of stickers. It's one way to use up an excess of stickers, folks, is, you know, stick them onto a bookmark or a tag, or just put them anywhere. And we have pockets galore again for tags. Come on. So there's journaling on the back, a book page. Then there is a gentleman ever so regal leaning against a dresser, I think. More space on the back for that. And in the smaller pocket here in the front, we have another ticket, which is a passenger ticket. And a little tag, which is a copy of a vintage invoice, I think, with writing space on the back. Now this one is it workable? I'm really not sure. Yeah, big tag could go in there. I'll have to remember that and put something in there. I don't have anything made currently. At hand, that is. Now this is closed, but you can open it up here. And I've put 3 of my handmade stamps in there. And that is a focal point. These are just pieces of paper that I've folded in halves or squares, and they're good for journaling pieces. How am I doing video-wise? Not video-wise, but yeah. Okay, we can still see the whole thing from top to bottom. Yep, we're going well. Okay, another big pocket. 2 more giant tags. Oh, you've only got half the space on that to write on, but that's okay. You've got more on the other one, and you've got more writing space here as well. So there is oodles and oodles of writing space in this book. That's all stuck down. And this is more buttons. And underneath the buttons is the writing board. Now, a writing board you can put underneath this page. If there was something bulky on here, you could put that underneath and write on it without too much fear of your pen going through the paper. It's sticking on something. What have I got underneath there? Didn't think I had anything underneath there. I'll work on that later. But that is it, my lovely people. Thank you so much for watching all of this with me. You've watched me make a fair amount of the stuff that's in it, so I don't feel too insecure about not showing you the whole thing. That's glary as. But I will love and leave you now, and I will catch up with you in another video. Bye-bye for now.